When I have conversations around cheating, I really like to steer clear of the blame game because the truth is, like, we all played a part.
How did I play a part in that bitch sucking another nigga dick? Explain that to me. How did I play a part in her letting a nigga nut in her mouth? How the fuck I play a part in that? All right, next video, it's time to get toxic, chat. It is time to get toxic. Is cheating always wrong? Middle ground, oh my God.
The person that you cheated on needs to know. So if you're gonna say, like, I'm not gonna tell them because of psychological damage, it's honestly, you're not even taking accountability for what you did.
Yeah. Hold on.
You chose
We starting this shit off with telling? Yeah, hell.
to cheat.
Disclosing that you cheated to the person that you cheated on is not accountability. That is just revealing
That is
information.
taking accountability. I would consider that as a form of taking accountability. You're so open.
That's delivering
Be open
news.
about this. That
Maybe
is
it's
a
the
form
first
of
step
taking
towards accountability.
I agree with you.
Maybe it's
It
the
is.
first
It's
step.
step.
Hi, I'm Gen, and I explore social and controversial issues through both sides. And today I'll be moderating this middle ground episode of Cheaters versus Cheated On. We'll be exploring topics such as this middle ground episode of Cheaters
You a cheater talking about some telling the person is accountability?
versus Cheated On. We'll be exploring topics such as the personal experiences of people cheating, the emotional toll that it takes on relationships, and why exactly do people cheat?
Why
The
do
first
people
prompt is,
cheat?
I would forgive my partner if they cheated on me.
Where we standing, chat?
Hell no!
Hell no.
Agreeers, please step forward.
Wait a second. So this is cheaters on the right and then cheated on the left. You niggas is stepping up. Of course y'all forgive the person that cheated on you. You be cheating. My brother.
I feel like from the side of being cheated on, I think the biggest thing to understand is that forgiveness is something that everybody does deserve. I think that
Of course it would be a nigga named Keith.
once we get into the discussion of why somebody cheated, we can really understand whether or not that person is sympathetic.
Nah, you better than me. I
and
don't want to
whether or not
discuss
that
why you cheated on me,
person
bro.
is somebody that you want to keep around in your life.
Hell
But I think
no,
forgiveness and keeping them in that same relationship are not synonymous. They go separately.
I completely agree. However, I do think that forgiveness is something that we give to ourselves, not necessarily somebody else. So in the event that my husband cheats on me, I would be giving him forgiveness so that I could set myself free from any hostility or anger that I may hold on to in the event.
I think it should benefit both sides in that sense. Now, whether that other person takes it and uses it to their benefit, you can't control that, and it shouldn't be up to you to try and push that. But yes, also making sure that that forgiveness is for yourself as well, so you can move forward, whether it be with that person or alone, and not take that burden on to the next relationship if that relationship doesn't work out.
I completely agree. And
Raven a cheater, by the way.
I would forgive because I've been forgiven. So, and I'm a Christian, so I believe in forgiveness. I believe that we should forgive
You a Christian woman who was cheating?
people because we have been forgiven.
You know, you can have short-term forgiveness and long-term forgiveness. And, you know, it's like, are you addressing the root of the issue?
Yes.
And really, if you're truly forgiving, and forgiveness is something that comes with maturity and with life experience, it's the whole circle of forgiveness. You get so much and you release the other person and
Nigga,
yourself
is that
from
Santa? He cheated on
anything,
Mrs.
and then you
Claus.
can move forward from that
Yes.
point.
One thing that is interesting, though, is that there are 3 people from the cheater side who have sat down, but only 1 on the cheated on.
That is interesting.
I guess I'd be curious to hear more so about your guys' experiences, because it seems like in this instance you were cheated on.
Yes.
So I cheated on him.
Yes.
And
Nigga. Wait, Keith. You kikiing and smiling and... Nah, man. Hold the phone, Keith.
Instance you were cheated on.
Yes.
So I cheated on him.
Yes.
And he forgave me. But I guess I'll let you explain that.
Forgiveness is it's a step-by-step process. It's not anything that
Yeah, dog, that sound good, but I see the bags under your eyes, nigga. You couldn't have forgiven her that much. You don't get no sleep at night.
It does happen instant.
You don't get no
And
sleep
for
at night,
us,
nigga.
that was something that we did step by step. And as you said, getting down to the root of it was a big thing to where all questions have been answered.
Look at the bags under this nigga eye. He don't get no sleep.
All things that were left up to an idle mind are no longer there. And so by getting down to the root of it, I can also figure out, okay, were there some areas that as a husband, I did not uphold what I needed to be?
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna sound so shallow. The fuck do you mean, where as a husband I didn't uphold? I don't give a fuck what I'm not upholding, man. If I'm not upholding my end, divorce me, dog. Don't step out on my marriage, bruh. Like, come on, man. As a husband, I wasn't. Okay, so look at it like this, though, right? As a husband, you weren't upholding this sides, but you were doing a lot more, right? Come on, bro.
It might have been that you might have felt emotionally you couldn't feel like you can come to me.
So do you feel like you have equal blame in the cheating that occurred?
Can I interrupt? I think that bringing the conversation to the concept of blame, I think you actually kind of have to understand the purpose of blame. And I think that the purpose of blame is to shift responsibility. When I have conversations around cheating, I really like to steer clear of the blame game because the truth is, like, we all played a part.
How did I play a part in that bitch sucking another nigga dick? Explain that to me. How did I play a part in her letting a nigga nut in her mouth? How the fuck I play a part in that? Niggas playing a part and they cheating is cucks.
Society included.
Can we have the disagreeers please step forward? Just to go back to kind of the imbalance that we saw there, I'd be curious to hear from the cheated on group first.
There's a few things I heard that I found interesting.
Oh, this nigga hate women.
One,
Yo, this turtle looking ass nigga about to fry her, dog. Yo, his hoe was going, he ain't forgive her in years.
you said about not using the blame game, and then also
Is that
when you said
refused?
about you felt like you may have had something to do with, not being a husband or whatever it may be. And those are things I kind of disagree with in the, like, I know most of us walk with good intentions in life, right? We're all trying to be a good person, yes? Or maybe not. But at the most part, you start off that way, right? But I guess the way I live my life, I don't give anybody any excuse to do something wrong to me. So if you do something wrong to me, you had to kind of go out of your way to do that. And this idea that you start saying, well, it must have been something I did. It actually might not have been. It might have been just the other person wasn't where you were at as a human being. And also the other thing I heard was about, forgiving for you.
Oh my God, she hate that. He said that shit. Chat, look at
Wasn't
her.
where you
Look
were
at her.
at.
Look at her. Look at her.
As a human being.
Look at her. She not feeling that shit at all. Cause bro over here gave her the benefit of the doubt for her cheating. And bro over that other nigga is letting her know you still a terrible person, bbro.
And also the
Look at
other
her,
thing
look
I
at
heard was
her.
about,
Yeah, she not hearing that shit
forgiving
at all.
for
She said.
yourself. I've never understood that statement. They did something wrong, I'm just gonna move on. I'm not gonna hold any ill will to you, it just happened.
Can I respond to that?
Go ahead.
So I actually agree with the two things you said about the forgiveness. I have never understood that either. I just feel like, for me, if it works for other people, that's great. I actually have found healing in not forgiving people. And I think there's a difference. I think,
Yeah, bro, why I gotta forgive you for doing me wrong, nigga? What type of shit is that? That don't make no sense. Why I gotta forgive you for you violating me? Oh, forgiveness is for yourself and to let go. I've been let go of that shit. It don't mean I forgive you. Fuck you. Hell no. Hell no. Cause when I was standing by you, you was violating me. You gonna hold on to it? Nah, nigga, you gonna hold on to it. I dead don't care. But if they asked if I forgive them, nah, I just don't care no more. It's over with. I'm not holding on to it. I'm not gonna forgive you. I'm not gonna give you the benefit of the doubt and like allow
You
you,
can
to be
forgive
away from
someone,
that.
but it's still fuck you at the end of the day.
I mean, if it's fuck you, is it really forgiveness? No. You can't forgive someone and it be fuck them. Because you forgave them. You might not fuck with them, but it can't be fuck them. It's just, you're just a person. I'm indifferent to you. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, bro. I hold on to that shit. And when I say I hold on, not like, oh my God, it's fucking me up. But like, no, man. You did me wrong. You did me wrong. I didn't do nothing to you. You did me wrong. When I had positive intentions, you had negative ones.
I choose not to forgive them, and then eventually I am indifferent towards them, is what I'm saying. I think there's a difference between not forgiving someone and hating someone.
And I think most of that comes from, that narrative comes from usually the person who cheated, saying, you know, oh, you forgive for yourself, but like, you never hear it coming from the actual person who got cheated on. And again, to that point, it seems it's always connected to, if you don't forgive, you're holding on to some ill will. No, I just don't think about it. It's done, and I'll just move on with life.
At least for me, I think that it comes back around to honesty. I mean, any of us that were cheated on, I don't think it's any of our responsibility that our partner chose to be dishonest with us about anything. Because even if you assume that, you know, it was something you did, maybe you weren't being open enough, or maybe the conversation wasn't happening that needed to happen, it's still not your responsibility fully, I don't think. You can't force anyone to be faithful or to be honest or to be true.
And that's the interesting part, that, you know, somebody gets cheated on, thinks, well, what did I do? Like, they should never think that.
With the early part of our marriage, what I thought a husband was, I go out, I make the check, and I come home and have sex. I'm just being completely honest. I didn't see nothing else.
Chad, I want you to pay attention to her attitude through all this. She cheated on this nigga, right? And she's sitting there like, he's talking that talk. What?
I make the check and I come home and have sex. I'm just being completely honest. I didn't see nothing else emotional that I needed to bring to the table. So that does not make an excuse for somebody to go out and do something. Yes, we should go ahead and have communication. We should try to learn how to grow within this. But I feel like that was the importance of trying to figure out, where did I have any type of flaw as a husband? Because even if we would have decided we're not going to work it out, I don't want to go and keep...
You took her back?
Recreating the same type
A nigga who took his bitch back after another nigga was inside her could never say nothing to me, bro.
Marriage.
I just want to say, I think it's really interesting that you're the only person from the cheated on, and I was the only person from the cheated side. And speaking from my personal experience, because my partner also used to be a cheater, and we came together, and you know, maybe part of it is just us growing up, you know, or we committed to each other, but we consciously made the decision to grow together, grow separately. And so I think if he were to cheat on me, I would not be able to forgive that, because it's like, well, we promised each other this growth, and we've put all, it would be less about the...
And then also, back to what black bro who let his bitch get fucked and then took her back said. My thing is, so you're forgiving her for cheating, and niggas love to talk about the vows that we took through sickness and health. Where was these vows when you was laid up with another nigga, man? Where was the vows? Like, you talking about some, oh, we have to work this out, and I should have been a better husband, and I should have been thinking about it. All right, cool. Did she talk to you about those issues, or was her first instincts to go get it from another nigga? And that tells me everything. That tells me everything. Because he didn't say, she brought these issues to me and I should have been better and I should have known. No, he said I wasn't doing the things necessary. I wasn't making those, I was doing the basic bare minimum shit. And a lot of times, chat, what motherfuckers don't understand is, your shorty won't bring these issues to you. They just gonna be like, all right, word, allow it to be sun on the inside, and then go do what they gotta do. Hell no, bro, I don't wanna hear none of that shit.
Cheating itself, I think, for me. And more about the breaking the promise of the growth that we've made. And it's like, well, how am I supposed to trust you now?
For my specific experience, it was more of a physical thing. I was a virgin, and I wasn't ready to do that yet. And the guy I was with was a couple years older than me, and he went out and did that. And I could never forgive him because the physical thing was something that we could never fix.
You were a virgin. Now, chat, this is a very good question. Cause I now for the other nigga, why would you get in a relationship with a girl who doesn't give you pussy? And people are gonna, and mind you, motherfuckers gonna call me shallow, motherfuckers gonna call me all types of things, but I think sex is a very important part of relationships. And I say that because there has to be give and take, man. Everybody knows a nigga. If you're with a girl, I'm with you because I'm physically, mentally, and emotionally attracted to you. That physical part is just as important as the other parts, all right? Now, I'm not gonna sit here and blame her for not like changing her ways, because before you got in a relationship with her, you know what I mean, you knew she was a virgin, gang, right? But at the same time, why would you want to get in a relationship and then be like, okay, I don't want to have sex with you, if you know this is a person who was having sex prior to get, like, if y'all not both virgins, y'all should not be in a relationship, gang. And if you're a virgin dating someone who's active, you shouldn't be like I just think that's bad business, all right? It doesn't make no sense to me. As a virgin, right, why would I get in a relationship with somebody who was sexually active prior to meeting me? Like, even if you telling me, yeah, I'll wait, that don't make no sense, bro. You're lying to try and please what I, like, my standpoint, but that's just not gonna work, bro. Because you lived a certain life and now you're trying to adjust to my life, knowing that eventually you're gonna be like, yo, I wanna be intimate with you.
Wasn't gonna have sex with him,
You don't know who a virgin? Bitches be lying? I mean.
So forgiveness for me was very hard because there was nothing to work on for me. So there was nothing to improve that relationship. So it was over.
I'm just curious, if he had, I have no idea what your relationship
No,
was like.
go for it, go for
If
it.
he had come to you and said, I love you, I care about you, this is something that I really need, how would you feel about, like, you know, allowing him to go out and do that? Or would you like, we should just break up then?
Totally. I mean, I think that I was getting to the point of potentially being ready. But after he did.
No. I was getting to the point of potentially being ready. Man, how long were y'all together? This is my thing. Like, how long does it take you to, like, for instance, and motherfuckers gonna call me shallow. If I'm dating a girl and I say, you know what, I don't think it's proper to be in a relationship and spend money until I'm actually ready, till I get there, right? I think dates should be no money involved before like 6 months, right? I shouldn't spend money on you 6 months in. I bet you shorty gonna feel some type of way, right? If a guy tells a girl, hey, I just, from a relationship standpoint, I don't think we should spend money on each other first 6 months. That would sound fucking insane, right? That sounds just as crazy as someone saying, yo, I'm a virgin, granted. Now, if you're a virgin waiting till marriage, fine. But if you're a virgin and you start dating someone and you're like, I just want to wait till I'm ready, then you're like, I don't think you're ready to be in a relationship. I think we should continue to casually date, you know? Because a relationship to me means, hey man, I'm with you and I am on the verge of marrying you. That's the direction we're going with this, right? Now, if you're talking to someone and they're like, hey, I'm waiting till marriage, fine. But if you're talking to someone, they're a virgin and y'all dating for 5 months and she's like, I'm just not ready, you don't like me. You know what I mean? Like, you like that means you're waiting 6-7 months to really like me enough, because that's all it is. I don't think when someone tells you they're not ready, I just don't like you enough. I don't like you enough. Simple. Because listen, chat, it's human nature to want to be intimate with someone when you're really like in that mode, you know? For real.
That was someone else, then I was like, okay, no. And I literally did not speak to a man for like 3-4 years. Like, it was a very emotionally traumatizing for me. I was only 16.
Oh, she was only 16. Cheating in high school don't count, bro. I'm not counting high school relationships, gang. You 16, what you doing fucking and worry about boys, man? Do your schoolwork. Niggas are ad. Emotional cheating is worse than physical cheating.
Cheating.
What? Yeah, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, bro.
Worse. I've been cheated on twice in the past year. The first was physical, the second was emotional. And to me...
Well, it depends on what emotional cheating is to you, chat. To me personally, cheating is cheating. Physical or emotional, you gave that nigga your time of day and energy. That's cheating to me. But like, sending other men heart emojis. If you in a nigga DMs talking about something, when you gonna see me? You never have time for me. Oh my God, bro. I'll never forget, I was on Twitter and a nigga leaked his girl, or a nigga made a comment or some shit, was like, my homeboy caught his girl cheating and she was texting the other nigga that she need to be punished. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'd have ended it, bro. It would have been over for me, bro. Yeah, bro.
Well, I don't want to bring it back to Jillian while she's standing over there, but we were talking about like the concept of virgin.
So because someone isn't ready to be sexually intimate yet, that means the person doesn't like you. Yes. Yes, teddy bear. Now, because I'm going to ask you a serious question, right? Unless you're a person who's waiting for marriage, right? It's a common, like most people, the average person would say sex is part of a relationship, right? So now if I'm like dating you, and I'm not, when I say dating, I mean we've come together and made known we're in a relationship, right? We're in a relationship. You are my girlfriend, significant other, whatever, and you're withholding sex from me. Now, I'm not saying y'all gotta be fucking like rabbits, but I can't be intimate with the person I've chosen to be in a relationship. Now, I'm not talking about a few dates. That is the time when you should consider, do I want to fuck this nigga, right? When we're dating, like, okay, we're linking, cause think about what goes into getting into a relationship with somebody, bro. There is a period of maybe anywhere from 3 to 12 months, 3 months to a year of figuring that person out. In that span, at no point in time in your mind was you like, this is a person I would love to share my body with. You will share finances, time, and energy with this person, but not intimate body contact. That don't make sense to me. It don't. Like, think about it, chat. I'm willing to do everything else with you except be physically intimate with you. When people understand that physical touch is a very important part of the relationship. Cause look at it like this. Let me ask you a question. The girl who said, I have a boyfriend, but we're not intimate until I'm ready. Does that mean we don't go on dates until I'm ready? Does that mean we don't like see each other as much until I'm ready? I don't get to spend money on you till I'm ready? And people are gonna sit like, all right, well, you making relationships sound transactional, but that's literally what it is, bro. Relationships are a transaction, give and take, all right? I'm giving you my time, you're giving me your time. So if I'm investing my time in you, right? I have to deal with your ups and downs. I gotta deal with period moods. Like everybody's sitting here saying, oh, it sound good. Niggas who have had a girlfriend know what it's like, bruh. Having a girl is not no simple, easy, feed, like, yeah, you niggas know what it's like, bruh. Niggas in chat know how stressful having a girlfriend is sometimes. I have to go through all that and not get the full scope of a relationship? What's the fucking point? What is the point? What is the point? We could dead just be like, if that's the case, we could just be friends until you ready to fuck with me. Like, what? But doing all that is just to hit is insane. Sex not everything. I'm not saying sex is everything, but it's something, nigga. It's part of it. Like, I'm confused. All right, cool. Sex not everything. Money not everything either. Money not everything either. There's more to relationships than money. But you know what's one of the leading causes of breakups and divorces? Financial issues, nigga. There's more to relationships than money. But you know one of the leading causes of divorces? Financial issues. What if he's pushing for sex and y'all not in a relationship yet? Then that's different. But if we're in a relationship and all the other things that come with a relationship, time spent, communication, dates. Cause I'm telling you, these girls that be like, oh, I'm a virgin, I'm just waiting to be ready. I'm waiting till I'm ready to give it to my boyfriend. Fine, cool. What if a nigga's like, I'm not ready to go on dates yet? Cause we have been dating. You're not gonna get in a relationship with somebody you haven't been on several dates with. You haven't spent time in public growing and knowing that person, right? So if that's the case, why are we in a relationship? Let's just continue to date. I'm telling you, I'm not getting in a relationship with a girl I can't fuck, because what's the point? We could just be friends. Keep kicking it. What's the difference between a girl that you with, right? Romantically, not fucking you, your homegirl. Explain to me, chat. Anybody in chat, what's the difference? Really quickly. What do they do different? Because your homegirl gonna be there for you emotionally. Y'all gonna talk. Y'all gonna communicate. Y'all gonna hang out. The only difference is I'm fucking my girlfriend and I'm not the homegirl. But without sex, what is the difference between them? This is what I'm saying, bro. We could just be friends. We could keep it pushing. We could casually date. We could go on dates and shit. But until, like, don't get in a relationship unless y'all both have established y'all are waiting till marriage. Fine. Right? Cool. If not, man, you doing nothing but trolling yourself.
And she's
Setting
only
yourself
16.
up for failure.
Like, the physical cheating aspect, I was cheated on because I wasn't, I suppose, being sexual enough, despite the communication that we had going on. I was just kind of being lied to the whole time. But emotionally, for me, that's what relationships are built on. So lying about something like that, or like having someone else on the side that you're giving those parts of you to, when I truly just want to like know the inner depths of like your being.
All right, peep what she said. Having someone on the side that you're giving those parts of yourself to. Essentially, what she's saying is you are giving something that was supposed to be for me to other people. All right, cool. So if he's giving it to other people, and I'm not condoning cheating, because you're not giving what was supposed to be for him, because a relationship is two people coming together as one, right? Cool. You're not upholding your end of the relationship that I told you, well, whether you told you or not, you know is an important part of the relationship, right? How are you confused by the results? It don't make no sense to me.
Because we are in a relationship, it's just worse to me.
You hesitated to come up.
Oh, hesitated to come up because I
Most of my bodies from going out, we got a real whore in chat.
think the word worse is like, it implies that there is a level of significance to whether you act on it or not. And I think
What's worse, chat? Finding out your girl fuck with another nigga, or going through her phone and she begging a nigga to put that dick on her? He talking about in her phone like, ask nicely. She's like, please, daddy. Begging? Imagine you go through your girl phone and you see her begging for another man, bruh. Holy shit.
Ultimately, cheating comes down to managing your own thought life. And as far as what you said about you not meeting his physical needs, I'd like to...
Imagine he leave her on open.
It was her, but yeah.
Oh, her, sorry?
You're good, same deal.
I'd love to shirk that off of you because what somebody else does in life is a reflection of them, not a reflection of you. So like as far as the, I didn't meet physical needs of my partner, I think you can't really say that because if they weren't vocal about it, right?
Absolutely, which is like, that was the main reason and one of the only reasons that we broke up, and I called it off, and I was still never apologized to. It was never acknowledged that it even happened.
Yeah.
Because
we don't apologize for what we did, shorty. I own it.
Betrayal was so tangent, it was a lot easier for me to let go of it. But having like a deep emotional connection with someone, I like tried again with an ex, and then I ended up getting emotionally cheated on. I had much more of a deeper investment in the character of that person, and I cared very deeply about where we were going in life and how we were growing together, and to sort of have that growth cut off, you know, is something different entirely. I do like what you said though about using the word worse and like how that...
See, chat, I've been caught emotionally cheating, I guess you could say. And granted, it wasn't the same, but I see how that could be fucked up. Because if I caught my girl telling another person, I need you, I would feel some type way too. And my question is, chat, is there ever a reason to emotionally cheat or physically cheat? No. But we're all going to make excuses on why people do things, you know?
There's like a level of significance to betrayal, whether it's actually executed with your body or not.
Yeah.
I think that...
It's still betrayal.
Yeah, it's still a betrayal, right?
I have a long history of cheating, unfortunately.
Oh my God.
And I have both
bitch just said she going.
Physically cheated and emotionally cheated. The way my various partners responded was different. I don't think that it's fair to say one is worse than the other.
Yeah, I kind of agree, because at first I was standing back there, I'm like, physical has to be worse, but then I'm like, everybody has a different standard or different experience. Yeah. I can't say what...
Who hitting that? Jamaican niggas?
It's worse for somebody else, what maybe for me. The other thing is, I don't understand, I'm not sure I even know what emotional cheating actually is.
That's what
I'm sitting there, what is emotional cheating?
What that means at all.
So emotional cheating, like when, let's say, you're going to someone and talking to them about the problems in your relationship, and they're offering that advice. They're offering you comfort.
They're giving you everything that you want.
Yeah, that you're desiring at that point. When you're actually supposed to be going to your spouse or to the person that you're with.
I agree with you, but I would take that a step further and say you can emotionally cheat and like they not know about your spouse or your partner. Like it's about having a relation, like you're talking to them with the way you talk to your partner. Because I have my high school sweetheart.
Saying, like, you know
I was in love with someone else. I was in love with two people at the same time. It was very complicated. But before anything ever physically happened, I was emotionally cheating on my boyfriend at the time.
Tell y'all all the time, bro, before your girl leave you, she will have left you 3 months earlier in her mind, bro.
Because I was talking to this guy like he was my boyfriend.
That's why I could never forgive a woman for cheating, because there's so many steps to cheating. Like, like a girl cheat on you, I want you to know she vetted that nigga. She emotionally invested herself in that nigga. She thought about it. She planned it out. She figured out what she was gonna do.
Too, even though we weren't together, you know. And I know people who have divorced, who have left their marriages because it was like, well, I've fallen in love with someone else, even though we've never done anything physical. Whereas, by that same token, you can also have like a one-night stand and it be purely physical and not emotional cheating at all.
It's funny because like it seemed like you're describing when you're trying to get to know somebody because you want to date them. So that's why it's kind of like really.
Let me help you.
Yeah, it's kind of like confusing me.
Emotional cheating begins when you have a relationship with somebody that your partner is not aware of.
Okay.
And
romantic relationship.
Yeah.
So for me, you know, I think lots of things. I look at lots of people. I expect that whoever I'm with is thinking whatever they're thinking while they're looking at people. And relationships that we all have with each other, you know, for me, like my girlfriends and I've been cheated on and cheated, and it's all complex and complicated and based on a case-per-case basis until they take action some kind of action where they're physically engaging with another person, they're not cheating on me as far as I'm concerned, because they're living life as a human being and they're just feeling and thinking and fantasizing and doing all the things that.
Is it fantasizing if your whole is it cheating if your whole fantasizing about another nigga, chat?
We all do, because we're human beings, and that's what we do.
And that's how you feel.
That's how I feel about it. That's why I said it about 3 or 4 times.
Yes, yep. So that means if your girl has a celebrity crush, she's a cheater.
Someone who has cheated, did you feel, if you've ever felt some type of way, whether it be guilt or anything, did you feel worse about emotionally cheating or physically cheating?
I've never emotionally cheated. I'm a human being and I live my life.
See, in the
And if I
bedroom,
think
imagine a
something
young
or I have a relationship with her where I'm telling her about my relationship and I'm falling in love with her, that's okay. I can feel that. But until I do something about it, I haven't cheated. I haven't done anything to my partner.
I've been cheated on multiple times, you know? So it's just like, and it's always been like a physical thing and it's really hurt me. And that's why I think the physical is worse for me personally than maybe the
I would never go near shawty with celebrity crush.
emotional would be, but I can totally see both sides. Because emotional is difficult too. But for me, the thing that sets my like romantic relationship apart from
we're the monsters that we recreate in stories.
Physical stuff. For me, I can
TK.
have tight
I make
relationships with
mistakes.
other guys, but I'm not going to go sleep with them because I'm not romantically involved.
Oh, I'm still very close with my high school sweetheart.
Totally.
We're very good friends.
Yes, and I have exes too that I can be like, we're chill, you know, but I'm not gonna go hook up with you in the car, like, you know what I mean?
Right,
like,
and we have that trust. Like I said, I think at the end of the day, it's situational. It's for some people, emotional cheating might be worse. For some people, physical cheating might be worse. For some people, it's the same.
Let's move on to the next prompt.
Okay.
I would date someone who cheated on others in the past.
Yeah. I just know, listen, I go into every situation with the whole facts. If you cheated on niggas in the past, I just assume you're not a good woman. And I've done that before. I've dated women who cheated on niggas in the past.
That was so fast. I didn't hear it.
I agree wholeheartedly. A person's past is indicative of who they were at that point in time, not necessarily who they want to become or who they are in the present moment. And I think
they ain't gonna tell you they cheated.
I think what's most important is who we are in the present moment.
I agree too, because I believe people can change. I changed, so I believe that.
I believe people could change. Fuck out of here. Real shit. Fuck out of here. Real shit. Fuck out of here. I'm not trying to hear none of that. I'm not trying to hear none of that. Bro look defeated. Bro, I ain't gonna lie. Bro looks sick as hell, bro. Bro looks sick as hell, bro. He not happy, bro. Look at the bags under his eyes, bro.
Now, can you make someone change? Like, you know, obviously not. But
Have you changed, TK? A ton.
I agree with that.
Yeah. No, I agree wholeheartedly. I feel like if somebody did something, you know, say for example, in their 20s and they're in their mid 30s now, I can't hold them to that past.
Right.
There's things that I've done. And so
You won't change?
I feel like
I
it would
have
be
changed.
wrong for a person to say, hey, you can't change,
Y'all
you
have
can't
watched
come
me
out of
change.
that. And so who am I to say, I'm not going to date you because you did something to somebody else. And I think those are things that you would only figure out like the surface level stuff early on anyway, before you get down to the deeper details.
I am currently dating somebody who used to cheat, maybe even worse than I did. And I mean, to your point about cheating in your 20s, I think the last time I cheated on anybody was maybe like 5 to 7 years ago. And, you know, like I was saying before, my partner and I, we made a commitment to each other to help each other be the best versions of ourselves that we can be. And I'm very secure in my relationship. I have my moments, but that has more to do with like me than it does him. When he goes
Appreciate
out,
you,
I'm like, oh, see you later. Like it doesn't, there's no doubt in my mind that he is faithful.
Since I began my marriage as an affair, the man that I have been with for the last 10 years is the man that I cheated with. I proceeded to have 3 of his babies, and we now
Nigga, you married the nigga you cheated on and had 3 babies with that nigga? God damn!
Now have a fabulous life, but in the beginning, the amount of paranoia and anxiety that came from the fact that you cannot control anybody else's behavior. But
how you paranoid? How you got paranoia and anxiety when you was the one fucking on niggas? That's what I'm telling you, chat. If you got a girl who's always constantly like on your body about cheating and always constantly worried about some shit, I'm telling you, bro, you scared. Something not right, man.
Your own was insane. And so I think coming to terms with accepting the realization that what is inside of my control and what is outside of my control was liberating.
I'm interested to hear the disagreeers because again, I think we have 3 people on the cheater side and then 1 on the cheated on. So disagreeers, please step forward.
I don't disagree. I didn't hear the prompt. So
I think I honestly.
I mean, everything everybody said sounds great on a Christmas card, I guess.
I ain't gonna lie, this bald nigga really spitting too. Go ahead, Franklin, the turtle.
I think, I don't say that disrespectfully, I mean, at the end of the day, we all still are human beings, right? And we go off experience, okay? For instance, in my situation, I was married, but at the time, I didn't know how many times prior to that she cheated, right? So again, when you meet somebody, you don't straight away know off the bat, oh, they've been cheating. As you go along and as you go through the situation, you start to go back to this conversations and stories you've had, and it's like, oh, that was the behavior that was always there, you just didn't know it, right? Would you take a banker who's stolen money in the past? You're kind of gonna be like, I don't think I'm gonna do that. Like, so I think it's situational and how you meet the person and how you grow. Like, even you said, you had your affair and now you're married with 10 years with 3 kids. It grew into something, but you started off with paranoia, but it grew into something real, right? So I think it's, again, very situational.
I mean, it was even real in the affair, okay? So like, I kind of want to get ahead of the narrative that like, people fall in love when they cheat because it's a fantasy. And I think if it were a fantasy, it wouldn't hurt so bad, right? So
you cheated! What hurts?
Really like to keep it in the reality sector, just because I think it invalidates the experience. And what you just shared actually hits on the fact that your ex-wife, your ex-wife had serial cheating. And I am of the belief that serial cheating exists if you don't understand why you do it. So if we do not actually do the deep dive and understanding why we behave the way that we behave, we'll never be able to correct. So from the beginning, she was deceitful with you, right? Like, I think that if I get the opportunity in the future.
Mind you, this bitch cheated on her husband and got knocked up 3 times by that nigga. So that means when she left her husband, that nigga was nutting in her. She was going to see another nigga while married and the nigga was dead, busting and all that shit, bro. Hell no, you can't tell me nothing, bro.
To go into another relationship, which is already disclosed on the internet, so whatever. But I'm going to be upfront, you know? Like, I have a history of deceiving people I love, and I am capable of it.
I'm curious, do any of you guys have kids?
We do.
Yes, we do.
And I think that brings up a whole nother dynamic for me when I went.
See, chat, I'm about to get real, like, I'm about to talk really quick, right? The reason why cheating, especially if you married with kids, is so crazy to me, because another nigga could look me in my face and say, I was fucking the mother of your children, nigga. And that's why I'm sorry. I'm too insecure. I could never take you back, bro. Because that nigga could walk up to me one day and be like, yeah, nigga, I was fucking the shit out of the woman who kisses your daughter goodnight to sleep, nigga. What? The woman who tuck your son into bed at night was sucking me dry, nigga. Treating her like a whore. What?
Because I had kids involved, and that was kind of like, and then, you know, it's like, not saying that's worse or better, because cheating is cheating, regardless. But again, being real and being a human being, you're gonna react a different way because you've got kids involved.
So I'm gonna expose.
Do you think you're gonna be a lot more, you know, when you go and date again, would you be a lot more stringent on your requirements than now that you do have your own kids?
I think that's just a natural thing. Not saying that's justifiable, but like, you're gonna have standards. You've been through one thing, there's certain things that you're gonna not tolerate. The whole dating thing is a kind of put.
Well, your BM probably getting hit right now. She ain't gonna be no virgin. Of course, she's not gonna be no virgin, but what she did prior to me knowing her has nothing to do with me unless you was out here doing porn, getting, like, unless niggas got video evidence of you getting cracked and it's on the internet, your sex life prior to me, as long as it's nothing over 10, 15, don't mean shit to me.
On the whole, because my focus is on kids, especially in a society that downplays fathers in their kids' lives. And because I came from a two-parent household, I'm very like, I'm going to be there for my kids no matter what. Like even right now, if they're called right now, I'll be out of here.
I want to hear more from the disagreeers. Is that like a requirement now that if they were a cheater in the past, you won't even consider dating them, or is it case by case?
It's interesting. For me, I think it is case by case. The main reason for me disagreeing with this prompt is because it's about the serial cheating.
How many women you know that changed for the better? I love my mama. She's still the same woman she was 20 years ago. Nigga, I love my mama. She's still the same woman she was 20 years ago. Habits don't change, man. Who you are as a person does not change, bro. My mom is still a very emotional, headstrong person. She was that when she was 30. She's that now. You know? You feel me? So what do you mean people don't change?
Thing like the person who physically cheated on me was a serial cheater before me, and has continued to be like since our breakup. And I would never, ever, ever touch that with a 10-foot pole again.
I was a serial cheater.
How'd you change?
Well, here's the thing.
He ain't changed, nigga.
I'm about to say,
He's still a serial cheater.
I'll get to that. I'm the only child of a single mom. So there was no father at home. There was no example of what a healthy relationship is in terms of a man and a woman. So, and I grew up with a lot of female energy. So I had aunts and grandmothers and.
What the hell is this nigga talking about? Chat, who do you think get more bitches? Niggas with dads in their life or niggas without them? Quick question. Who do you think who do you think gets more women? Niggas with dads in their life or single niggas from single mothers? Without? Good night. Good night, Ensar. Dudes with dads. Single mothers definitely.
Stuff who were all raising me. So I had a very emotional.
Isn't it funny how women say men without fathers are the worst, but then they end up being women who raise men without fathers?
Aspect to my being, and so because of that I craved female attention, and so whenever females would give me attention,
I ain't gonna lie, this nigga talking though, because I feel the same way.
It was just like, oh, if they wanted to do whatever, I was on board. I'm like, let's go, you know, it's life. And,
I ain't gonna lie, listen, hold on, this nigga spitting though.
Emotional aspect to my being, and so because of that I craved female attention, and so mothers and stuff who were all raising me. Grew up with a lot of female energy, so I had aunts and grandmothers and stuff who were all raising me, so I had a very emotional aspect to my being, and so because of that I craved female attention, and so whenever females would give me attention, it was just like, oh, if they wanted to do whatever, I was on board.
Chat, do you think I crave female attention? Nigga say you crave snow bunnies. Why are we? Not as much. Sometimes on stream, that's about it. It's water or wet ass question. Used to back in the day, toxic days. Yeah, it's the sky blue. I don't know. You'd be exist again. Thank you, Squabs.
I'm like, let's go. You know,
thank you, Tetrol.
And this is great. And then after after starting to mature and grow up a little bit, I'm like, this doesn't feel good. This doesn't feel like the right thing to do, you know? I can't even explain it. It just kind of descended into my being. And I was like, this is not you. You're not this person. And that's where I found one sense of my character and integrity about
Streamer,
myself.
I am also a serial cheater, and my partner was a serial cheater as well. And we were very honest with each other in the beginning. As soon as it was serious, you know, hey, I have this history. Oh, me too. And he was able to communicate to me, this is why I made these horrible choices. So I am confident that he wouldn't make those choices again.
For those who have been serial cheaters and now found themselves or gone through and understand, I guess, what would you say to the people who have been serial cheated on? Because it's interesting, like, you guys have gone through something and you figured stuff out, and you always hear those people who are like, why am I always finding that guy or that girl and they're always cheating on me? Like how, what do you say to them?
And I'm speaking from experience,
Bye,
not with
Camicia.
cheating, but with other things, that sometimes when someone has trauma from a relationship, that you enter your next relationship thinking, oh, this person's gonna save me. This is gonna be the person who fixes my trauma. And it becomes this cycle of trauma where that person then is like, oh, this person thinks of me as their savior, and they'll take advantage of that. And that is not, like, I'm not victim blaming. That is not to say that, like, and it's your fault.
No, but
Do you believe cheater would open up about their past, TK? Women? No. If you don't ask, they're not telling you. And if they do tell you, they're gonna rationalize it somehow. They're not gonna say they cheated. They're gonna say we grew apart and, all types of shit.
that's a relationship thing.
What's
Yeah.
up,
What
Mavs?
you're talking about, what you're talking about is like in relationships, when you find yourself finding the same kind of people,
Yeah.
you have to stop finding people and go, what is it about me? What do I have to figure out about me and what's going on? And how I feel about other people and what my boundaries are and all kinds of things. Yeah.
It's the types of energy that you might be unconsciously looking
attracting.
for.
Yeah.
Not even necessarily attracting, but like sometimes when a person is traumatized in a certain way, unconsciously, you will chase that
Looking
trauma
for it.
over
Exactly.
and over
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
But I think what you said about boundaries, I mean, that is the key. And I think a lot of people don't understand that, like, boundaries is not saying like, you can't do this, because you can't control other people, like we were saying. A boundary is like, if you do this, I'm not gonna talk to you anymore. It's the consequence of the person crossing that boundary.
There are much worse things that can break a relationship than cheating.
Hell no. Hell no. Actually, what are some things, chat, in relationships that are worse than cheating?
a middle ground Patreon to watch this exclusive prompt.
It's okay to express attraction to others while in a relationship.
Hell no.
As the only person from the cheated on section, I think that it is okay because.
Well, shawty, you're gay, so you're a lesbian, so it's different, because girls already be like, oh my god, she's so fine. Oh my god, you're so beautiful, girl.
Personally, for me, again, like talking about how I think that relationships are built on honesty and communication, I would rather know that you have attraction to someone than you just keep that on the back burner and not tell me. Like, let me know. Attraction is human. Love is only human. Desire is human. I have not cheated on anyone. I have absolutely no plans to cheat on anyone. But like, if I found someone attractive, I would tell my partner. My current girlfriend is amazing, and I would hope that she would feel open in telling me that as well.
See, that's the thing though. It's different when you're a girl because heterosexual women do the same thing, bro. Girls see attraction as different, bro. But in straight relationships, if a nigga told his girl, yo, I'm not gonna lie, I'm attracted to shawty, she would tweak out, bro. Nobody is that mature. And the mature ones like women, so.
And I like to open a lot of my a lot of my relationships with.
Like, imagine your girl coming to you and saying, oh my god, babe, that nigga's so fine.
That conversation and just like be like, hey, can you just like let me know if anything goes that way?
Well, I love what you just said, because it really speaks volumes to your individual security in revealing your authentic self inside of your relationship. So well done, you.
She bullshit, man. Saying a bunch of bullshit.
Security and revealing what you just said, because it really speaks volumes to your individual security in revealing your authentic self inside of your relationship. So well done, you. I also
my authentic self is insecure, man. I'm sorry.
Think that if we have an innate response to something that we see and we actually don't give it voice to it, we're ultimately putting ourselves in a place of denial. And denial is not just a river in Egypt. And what it ends up doing is you start suppressing yourself and making yourself smaller for the comfort of having your relationship, which then means your relationship becomes the goal rather than you being an individual who can be seen, valued, and understood.
$214 Trey joined $. I can't wait for my next sub in the next monthly stream.
Appreciate the 55 months, Trey. Chat, mind you, the woman saying all this cheated on her husband and got pregnant 3 times by the man she cheated on him with. By the way, just a little heads up, just everybody you know.
Inside of the relationship.
You know, me and my partner have shared these things, but like I also have struggled with my own insecurities. And so he always makes sure to add in like, but like you know. So I think it depends on who it is. But I think I agree that yes, it is obviously healthier to give voice, because then of course, like if I don't know, let's say my partner finds someone attractive and I catch him looking, and then I'm like, why are you know what I mean? And so then I might get suspicious. It's like, why have you not said anything to me?
But wouldn't you say that your insecurities are for you to manage, not your partner?
Oh yeah. No, yeah. No, I mean that's
so
my
him or her changing their behavior because of your insecurities would lead them to a place of inauthenticity.
Oh, I want to make it very clear. I didn't ask him to do that.
Oh, okay.
That just comes from him. And maybe it comes from him because he knows I've struggled with insecurities, but I haven't said to him, and you need to do this. That's not, it's just him expressing himself.
You know, for me, it's like when I start a relationship, I want communication. You know, and it's very important that we're able to talk with each other about everything, because we're 2 human beings who have feelings, and unless you act on those feelings, you know, and sometimes I think talking about it can keep you from acting on it as well. You know, all that openness can keep things, you know, I think it can help.
Well, the partner that physically cheated on me, I don't know if she's fully polyamorous, but that's sort of where she tends to lean. And I knew that going in, but she was not being real with me about it. So like, I would rather you come tell me when you find someone attractive and we discuss the possibility of even trying that than you to just go behind my back.
So essentially, Shorty said, as long as you told me I'm okay being a cuck.
I could not do that because I don't think that I'm poly, but like I would rather have honesty and communication, openness.
And that is cheating.
I don't think that I'm poly.
If somebody is polyamorous and they're not honest,
and they're not honest about it,
that is absolutely.
So yeah, we
there
started
has
off
to be
with that.
communication. Because I am queer, I often will find like women and non-binary people attractive, and my partner is a male, and he's very okay with that, and not in like a gross, creepy way, but like he understands that like I'm also going to be attracted to like these other genders, and so us discussing.
What do you mean these other genders?
You know, who we find attractive is a very natural part of the relationship.
Yeah, it's like discussing, you know, day-to-day life, I think.
And I reassure him too. I'm always like,
yo, there are 2 genders, gang. Either you're a man or a woman. Like, trans men are just women who turned into men, okay? Trans women are just trans men? Yeah, women who turned into men. Trans women are just men who turned into women. It's simple as that. All right, word. Now, if you want to identify as a woman, cool. It's still 2 genders. What are we fucking talking about, bro? Like, if you're identifying as a woman, you're a trans woman, you're technically on the woman side. Like, I'm confused why we gotta keep adding all these extra shits, bro. LPR, niggas mad because I'm telling you the truth, bro. If you're a transgender, you're essentially adhering to the sex that you transition to. No? What other genders are there? Sexual orientation's not a gender, nigga. What are we fucking talking about, bruh? Like, what? What are we talking about, bruh? I'm not excluding the trans people, but nigga, if you're a trans woman, you're on the woman side of gender. What? Trans people get their own genders? Didn't you want to be a woman? So you're one of the 2 sexes.
You're the best.
I personally don't believe that there should be any attraction to anyone.
Mind you, this bitch fucked another nigga on her nigga.
Especially for marriage, speaking on marriage, we believe in monogamy. We believe in one, you know, man and
Stop saying we. He believed in monogamy, okay? He believed in monogamy, okay? He did. You cheated.
Man and wife. And I do believe that we should not have any type of attraction to anyone. It leads to problems, and it absolutely can lead to, even cheating. Yeah, if you are feeling that way in your relationship, then obviously that does need to be expressed. And that tells a lot about, hey, there's something deeper going on in your relationship that needs to be fixed.
So you're saying like you walk down the street, you've never seen an attractive man been like, oh, like that man's hot. Never.
I don't look at other men and
You fucked another nigga on this nigga. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I might have to skip this section because she pissing me off, bro. Yo, you cheated on this nigga.
think that, I can't do that especially being a Christian, I can't look at other men and say like, oh, that man is, if I can't be sexually, I'm not sexually
because you're a
attracted.
Christian, or is it because you're you?
Now it's because I am a believer, and I do believe in the cross. I believe in Jesus Christ, and I believe.
The fuck is she talking about, bro? Oh my God.
That he is my savior. He's my Lord and Savior.
Same.
And I believe in the Bible. I believe in the whole Bible.
Did you believe in the Bible when you laid down and let that nigga put dick in you? Question of the day. Was God your savior when you was on your knees for another man? Only man you should be on your knees for besides your husband is God, but unfortunately, you did not hold that.
A little bit of
the funniest thing about people who use religion to right their wrongs is, where was religion when you was committing wrongs? Why is religion only used as your sign of forgiveness? Where was said religion when we were asking you to uphold the vows of your marriage? When you listen, let me ask a question. I wish I could talk to these people, because I would look her in her eyes and ask her, I'm glad that you said you a Christian woman. Why, when you and your husband was having issues, you didn't get on your knees and pray, you got on your knees and sucked dick? Explain that to me. Why didn't you ask God to help you figure out your marriage? Instead, you asked another nigga to fuck you. Explain that to me. Why did we wait for God until after we got caught and after all this shit? Now you Christian. Now you don't believe in all that shit. So where was that before in your marriage?
Bible, but the whole entire Bible.
Okay.
It's funny, because part of me is like, no, but part of me is like, yes, because we are human beings, and attraction is part of life. So I will say that. It's funny.
Like,
that
I need niggas to ask her these questions, bro.
against me. Meaning,
Somebody ask.
most of us, when you go out and date somebody, I'm assuming you find them very attractive, right? So in my head, I'm gonna expect people to look at my wife or girlfriend as they're walking down the street, and even though sometimes it's rude to make certain comments. I've been in that, but I was the kind of person where I was like, I didn't care, because as far as I know, she's with me and she's going to get looks. But because I didn't react, that was a problem. Because I didn't get jealous. And I'm like, why am I jealous? I'm with you. This is where I got confused. Are people just coming up in your relationship saying, hey, he's attractive, she's attractive, she's like, how does that work?
I mean,
guess personally.
Yeah. My boyfriend's the same way. He is like, yeah, like, he wants me to like go out and people look at me, and I think that's, of course, sometimes I want him to be a little, of course, yeah, of course, a little bit.
Yeah. Women are hilarious.
I actually think that's right. I actually think
women are funny because they say they don't like insecure men, but they want to make their boyfriend jealous. Actively. They'll do things to try and make their boyfriend jealous because they think that means you care. But then they'll come out they same mouth and be like, men are insecure. Think about that, chat. Think about that. BRB, give me a second. Aisha Curry syndrome? Make it make sense. Goddamn, this nigga so little. That's your first comment, Icy?
That's a healthy way to go, is to be secure in the relationship, be like, yeah, my partner is hot and I get to be with them. I think that's a healthy way to go.
And my other question is this in the same line as emotional cheating? Because I've just kind of learnt the definition of that, and then you've just said that, and I'm seeing back, and I'm like, wait, this sounds like emotional cheating.
No,
I
would say emotional cheating is like you're developing a romantic connection with another person.
And emotional cheating is also secretive most of
Yes.
cheating.
Okay.
A lot of
Okay.
having an open conversation with your partner about like, I mean, you watch a movie and you're like, oh, you know, the actress is kind of hot,
Yeah.
you know?
Or, like with my current boyfriend, I am honest. We honestly make jokes about it sometimes. Like I was like, "Oh, are you into her? Are you into her?" And he's like, "No," you know. But like obviously,
Good answer.
I know.
Oh. He say no. So what if he say yes? What happens when he says yes?
I know that he like might think that she's pretty, but that's attraction. That's a physical attraction. There's so much more to a relationship that you can bank on. It's like an emotional thing, or like, are you there for me when I call you?
One question. Do you think, based on that, do you think that's a healthier way? In that, you know, sometimes you might joke about it, that, you know, out of our choice that we might find someone attractive, or to just keep that hidden into yourself?
Well, okay, so I think you should definitely, like, if it's a celebrity or
Mind
something
you,
like,
she's the cheater.
obviously I'm not gonna go and like, and two,
Yeah,
I think too,
celebrity
like when
crushes.
you're saying attraction, there's attraction and then there's sexual attraction. So I think that there needs to be, they're two different things. I used to tell him like, oh my God, when I was little, I used to love like Raspy, Chris Brown, all of them. Like I used to think that they were so like, you know, handsome, but like in my marriage, I don't see another man and be like, ooh, like he is.
How did you cheat then? Like, yo, if all this is true, how did you cheat?
I have a question.
Yeah, no.
Like, I have a question.
Yeah.
If you guys are done talking, I don't want to interrupt.
Do you have something to say?
Yeah, and so I think that also defining it within your relationship is very important
Yeah,
too. So like
totally. What
to
works
say
for you?
exactly. So we may look at the terminology different, and so like for us, for example, if I say that I'm attracted to somebody, and we had to break this down even in our relationship. If I say I'm attracted to somebody, that means that I'm willing to pursue them just within us. That's what we came to an agreement of. Now I may say like, oh, they have a nice hairstyle, or they have nice eyes, or something like that. That's just a quick acknowledgement, and we may compliment them on it and just keep it moving. And that's just in our definition of what we have within our marriage.
Mind you, she cheated on this nigga.
If you cheat on someone, you are not in love with them.
Yo. Look. She's staying there, Anna.
Someone, you are not in love with them.
She not moving, dog. Yo, these are terrible people, bro.
Agreeers. Oh, I'm sorry. I messed that up.
Oh no.
Agreeers? Oh, sorry.
Apologies.
You are not in love with them, right?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew bro was going to step up. Hell
At first,
yeah,
like,
nigga.
stuttered because I was trying to think in their own right, they might think they're in love, but as a flat statement,
No, you're not in love.
I don't
with
think they
nobody.
are. If
If
you
you
really
cheat
are
on
truly
somebody,
in love,
you're not in love.
it's all you think about is that other person, right?
And the reason I say shit like that, chat, is because if I loved you, I wouldn't want to hurt you. Now, I might not be like perfect. I might hurt you accidentally, but cheating is an action that you took with conscious effort. You don't accidentally cheat on somebody. You don't cheat on accident. Therefore, you can't love somebody you cheat on because you took a conscious action that you knew would hurt that person. You don't really love them.
Or you want to be with them, you want to try and do right with them, even though there may be certain things you do up and down that may not displease them, but you're learning together. But going out and being unfaithful to them and then turn around saying you still love them, it just doesn't sit right with me. Or it doesn't logically make sense to me
It doesn't.
in that aspect. Thoughts?
Okay.
Because I know you're itching.
I'm itching.
She don't like this nigga
I think
at
that
all.
falling in love is an experience. In my experience, I had never encountered the experience
I
of
think you
falling
still
in love.
can, but the love
I
isn't
can
deep
s-
enough.
Nah, bro. You gotta understand. Niggas don't understand. Love and liking somebody are two different things. You can like people. You can like people. Liking someone it don't take nothing to like somebody, you know? People like people for bare minimum shit all the time. Love is work, nigga. Think about it like this. And the only time niggas say this shit is in relationships. If you told a nigga, right? Okay, cool. Say a nigga loved basketball. If you loved basketball and you love the grind, you love the hustle, what do people tell you? Even when you don't like it, you still do it, right? Like, think about all the things people talk about. How, oh, if you want to be successful, you gotta love this shit. Because when you love it, even if it's not like a good day, you keep going. You keep going. You keep going. You don't cheat it. You don't cheat it. You do the work because you love this shit. And you know you will be rewarded for said love, right? Why is it that only in relationships we think that love could be like you don't have to put the work in, but it's still love? That makes no sense, bro. TK, you love your mama, but you still went to school and acted a fool. I didn't. I've only been in trouble twice in school. Actually, one time. And that was not an act of love. That was me doing something that disrespected the love I have for my mother. Because I would never have embarrassed her like that if I truly appreciated and loved my mother the way I say I did. Now, that's not to say I didn't have love for my mother. When I was doing that, I didn't love my mother in that moment. I didn't love my mother. I didn't think about the love I had for my mother because I wouldn't have even gotten into a situation like that if I actually appreciated and loved my mother in that moment. So that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, we use love to define everything else. The hard work you put in. When niggas tell you, oh, you want to start up a business, you want to be a content creator, you got to love this content shit. Cuz there's going to be nights where it's hard. There's going to be nights where it's hard. So, even though it's hard, you got to keep pushing through that. Why does that not account for relationships? Like, think about it, bro. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's why when girls be like, I love you. All right, how do you love somebody and then quit on it? You don't love it. That's not love, bro. That's what I'm talking about, bro.
Say with certainty today that my episode of cheating was definitely the experience of falling in love. When I was with the partner that I cheated on, it was a part of a plan. There was a plan to get married. There was a plan to have kids. There was a plan to make sure everything we did was in the best interest of each other. Whereas the aspect of falling in love, there was no plan. I crossed paths.
You didn't fall in love with that nigga. You had lust and obsession and desire for that nigga. That's not love. Love is something you choose every single day.
With somebody who lit my soul on fire and all logic went out the window.
Was that love though or lust?
Oh, it was.
This nigga is cooking.
It was so much.
Was that love though or was it lust?
It was so much. So I think that when I think of the word love now, I actually replace it with the word want. I think that the statement that was made about not being in love with somebody, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that I don't have capacity or capability to love him. I certainly was loving him in other ways.
You were tolerating him in other ways. You weren't loving him. Because love, to me, by definition means, A, I love you so much, I don't want to do anything that would put you in harm's way. Right? And cheating on someone is harming that person.
But again, we're all doing this. We kind of like try to figure out what the statement means and reading into it. But as the flat statement, I don't think all that's entailed. Because again, there is different types of love. There's also each person's way they look at love, what you think love is, at what age.
So, did you love Gabs? That's a crazy question.
Though maybe one thing that even now you just said, now you look at love a different way. So it gets kind of complicated. But at the base level, I think, I just feel like it's like, nah.
Mikael! Appreciate it, 18 months, my boy.
You didn't really love them. Even on your own description of what love means to you. Think about what love means to you. When you cheated, did you meet that standard of what love meant?
Yeah, I think what's tricky about it, right, was...
Nah, I think it was no. Answer the question.
Since I had, I'll say, these idols of marriage, family, you know, all of that, I was more in love with the idea of what those things were than the person that I put into the role.
So essentially, no, you did not love that nigga. Cool.
Which there's
Right.
nothing wrong with that because again, we all come from
So,
experiences.
but being able to kind of look back and compare, I think that comparison is the thief of joy.
Oh, now it's the thief of joy. You didn't mind comparing. See, I hate that shit. You didn't mind comparing the nigga you was
can't
fucking.
say you love me and then stab me in the back. That doesn't make sense to me.
You can't say, oh, comparison is a thief of joy when cheating on that nigga came from the comparison of the emotion the other nigga made you feel to what you were getting from your husband. What are we fucking talking about?
Right? And what it does is it steals all of the value from the experience
Yo, I love when people do word salad to essentially say no.
that was still very much valid.
Yeah, no one's saying it might not be valid, but was it still love though? Because like you said,
I don't know if
no, bro. Why is it so hard to say you didn't love that nigga, bro? Bro, you know why? Because she don't want to seem like a bad person. Like, holy fuck.
I get what you're saying. You don't know because
Yo, put me on one of these shits because I'm telling you, niggas gonna be mad at me.
When you were in there, you were in it, and you've grown, and you moved, and you've changed.
Does that satisfy your question?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I agree. I don't think that you can be in love and cheat on somebody.
And then here come everybody else. I want her to talk. I want you to talk.
I want to respond to something you said that I was like, oh, okay, right in there.
To walk around the answer when it's right. She don't love no one.
You said that when you're in love with somebody, they're all you think about, that you just want to be with that person all the time. And I vehemently disagree with that. I think, and for me, obviously, I disagree with this. I can say that I really, truly did love the people, or I should say most of the people that I cheated on in those.
No, you didn't, bro. Because if you loved them the way you said you loved them, you wouldn't have cheated. You would have left. All right? That's what's blowing me. Because leaving is always an option. So it wasn't love. You were comfortable with the way they were treating you, and you enjoyed what they gave for you. What's up, Ty? But you didn't love them, bro.
Those relationships, I based my value and I based my identity on those relationships. That person was all I thought about. And it almost was like I trapped myself. It was like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And then I sought outside of that relationship. I think that they say like someone shouldn't be your universe. They should be a planet in your universe. So it's like I have friends. Sometimes I'm just like, bye, and I go hang out with my friends. My family is very important to me. He is not my world. And this is the healthiest relationship.
All right, word. She said my family is very important to me. Would you betray your family the way you betrayed somebody you cheated on?
That is my universe.
And I was saying that more metaphorically, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But even in that, you were infatuated and everything was him and you were giving all. Then the question is, were you in love then?
That's a good point.
I'm just asking that just based on what you're saying.
Like in my first serious relationship, for sure, I was in love with him. And he was my first real love. And I was in love with him. And I still made the choice to cheat.
Then you weren't in love with him because you made a conscious decision to throw the love that you had for this nigga on the ground and step on it. Like, how is that so hard to understand? What's up, Blizz? I don't get it. How is that so complicated, chat? You were not in love with this nigga because you made a conscious decision to do wrong by that nigga, bro.
It was a choice I made. It was a selfish choice. I felt extremely guilty.
You know why you feel guilty? Because you know you didn't love him.
Afterwards. So I think it depends, but I think you absolutely can be in love with somebody and still make bad choices based on selfishness, anger, insecurity, whatever it may be.
I believe that we can grow in love. I believe that there is portions of our love that's
Raven, cheater.
lacking, and then we can actually grow in that. So I don't believe that just because you cheated on someone doesn't mean that you don't love them. I believe that that there can be love there, but there's something there that just is causing that portion of it to just be almost like.
I wish I was here, bro, because I'd look around and I'd be like, all right, I'm glad everybody said that. Let me say something really quick. Right? In business, in anything in life, if you're committed to something, you love it. For instance, let's look at it like sports. to be the very best version of yourself, you have to love it, because you're going to have to put in work that might not be the best at the moment. It might not be what you want to do, but love and your desire and discipline triumphs that. Love to me is discipline, right? Love to me is discipline. If I love something, I'm disciplined in it, right? So how can you love something and have discipline but fall on that discipline? You don't love it the way you say you do.
Depletion. Like, I couldn't love him fully the way that I needed,
What's up,
the way
Leo?
that he needed to, because there was something there that was lacking. Like, I didn't have the understanding of, you know, what it meant to be a wife, what it meant to be a partner.
Falling in love is not a choice. You meet someone, it happens for whatever reason, you're compatible. Staying in love is a choice.
Thank you.
You are choosing, and perhaps in that moment, you are not choosing to love that person. You're choosing not to love that person. And
Therefore, you don't love that person. Because how can you love somebody and for a moment choose not to love them? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. How can you love somebody and for a moment choose not to love that person?
and then maybe you can choose to love them again. I'm not saying falling in love, but to continue loving somebody is an action.
I do think that falling in love is a choice.
Oh, okay.
And the reason that I think falling in love is a choice is because you allowed it, right? Like, when
It's
I think
also a choice
about
to
the
tell them you don't
experience
love
that
them
I had full autonomy in that situation, right? I could have immediately went to my husband and said, I've caught something. There's something magical here. I gotta go.
But you caught, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I was still we were not together. I was still talking to my ex when I met my current partner. And I told my current partner at the time, I don't want to be serious with you. I never intended to catch feelings with my current partner. I just kind of fell in love with this guy.
You know, it's interesting. The prompt is in love.
I don't think you fall in love. I think falling in love is a conscious decision. Okay? That's how I view it. I've fallen in love before. But me falling in love was me consciously saying, I think this person is worth the feelings I'm pushing towards them. Was that a good decision? Hey, who knows? But it was a decision I made. Hello? Hello? I don't know what just happened. Hello? 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 I thought I got banned, bruh. I ain't gonna lie, I thought I got banned, chat. Yo, no cap. I'm telling you, when that shit went, I was like, they banned me, nigga.
And to me, in love
I thought they
and
banned
love
me, dog.
are two different things.
Yeah.
I fall in love as a human being with other humans, men, women, whatever. I fall in love very easily. Fall in love as a human being with other humans, men, women, whatever. I fall in love very easily. Love as a human being with other humans, men, women, whatever. I fall in love very easily. I believe in love. Love is the
Excuse me,
driving
OG?
force of my life. So I was in love with every woman that I cheated on. I was in love with them. If I loved them truly, that would have been a different story, maybe. But to me, there's a difference
So
between
your
being in love
capacity to
and
love changed.
and you love somebody. Right?
It's so interesting because I actually, in my mind, view it like the opposite. Like, I love so many people.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I love my friends. I love my family. I love people that I'm like, oh, we've just met and I love you. Like in love, when you fall in love, you're in love with somebody. It stirs something up. It's different.
I think we get to semantic.
Yeah, right. No,
Yeah,
it's semantic. It's totally semantic. I just thought it was interesting. I feel
He pretty much said he love bombed those women.
I feel like we should bring up limerence maybe for a second. We're all talking about falling in love. I feel like textbook psychology brings up limerence all the time, and they actually kind of just like shirk the entire affair experience under this word. And
It's the world that doesn't know what limerence.
Limerence is a chemical reaction inside of your brain in the very early stages of a relationship.
Okay.
So it occurs between mother and child during birth. And what they say, or what a lot of people say, is that limerence is actually to blame for, and I'm not laughing, but I am. They say that limerence is actually the reaction that is at play psychologically between affair partners, because it creates this infatuation. It creates all the ecstasy feelings of being in love. So
Like a drug.
Yes,
you guys know the
a limerent object, a limerent addiction.
Do you guys know the 70-30 theory? It's like the layman's term. Yeah, that you're in a relationship with someone and you love them, and they have 70%, because nobody's perfect. They have 70% of the things that you're looking for, and then you meet someone that has that missing 30%. And you're like, oh, this person has everything that I'm missing. And then you go and you cheat with that person, is that 30%, and then you realize, oh shit.
They ain't got that 70%.
Yeah, the 70% is gone now. Yeah.
I'm gonna start calling my husband the 30%er.
Son, what? Son, what?
Moving on to the next problem. I would rather not know that I was cheated on.
Yeah, bitch, don't tell me. Don't tell me, shawty. Just break up with me. I don't want to know, man. Hell no,
It's lonely up here. So
hell no. Don't tell me, baby. Don't tell me you fucked that other nigga. Hell no. Nah, cause if you tell me, I'm gonna start asking questions that's not healthy for me. Did you suck that nigga dick? Did you suck that nigga dick? Did you wear a
Ignorance is
condom?
bliss, baby. Just leave, please.
Oh God, man, just leave, bro. Cause I'm telling you, bro, I'm asking questions that don't need to be asked, bro. Did you suck that nigga dick? When? Where was I? You came home to me after you did that shit? And he sends you proof afterwards? No, you gotta kill a nigga behind that. Listen, chat, there are a few levels of disrespect you should never take as a man. Never take the disrespect of a nigga fucking your bitch and then telling you he did so. I'm all for being above violence and shit and not crashing out behind women, but that's viable crash outs. Cause at that point, the nigga disrespecting you. And ain't no disrespect without retaliation, bro. You know? I'm all for letting shit be what it is, but don't let no nigga disrespect you, alright?
Please tell me it slip out and y'all stop right there.
What you doing if your girl tell you she tried to cheat, but the nigga dick was too big, she couldn't take it?
Once asked my ex if she liked it and she told me nah and her though. My fucking god.
Yo, nigga, imagine your girl cheat on you, tell you the truth, and you ask her, did you enjoy it? No, it was too big, it wouldn't fit. You know why that fucked me up so much? Cause that nigga on his head like, damn, this bitch can't take dick. He making jokes with her and shit, like, you couldn't handle it. She telling that nigga, nah, it was too big. I couldn't take it. Like,
deep down, I believe you're a monster too. Gone for that nigga, get it over with.
Nah, bro.
Gone for that nigga, get.
If you ask your bitch if she cheated on you and she say anything besides, if you ask your bitch when she cheated on you, did she enjoy it? She say anything besides it wasn't worth it? I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, bro. Did you cheat on me? Yes. Did you enjoy it? No, it was too big. It wouldn't fit.
Deep down, I believe you know you're a monster too.
Yo, Spider-Man.
Gone for that nigga, get it over with.
Nah, this video going platinum, gang.
I think my perspective on this has shifted quite a bit after the last year, since I've been dialoguing so much with both betrayers and the betrayed party. And I think that there's slight benefit to the person who has been betrayed if the betrayer...
I don't know if it's worth it to resub. You don't stream.
TK, what if she show you a video of her cheating?
She would die. That's disrespectful as fuck. What you mean you gonna show me a video of you doing the act? You not afraid of me? What the fuck? Nigga, what? Nah, you crazy as hell, bruh. That means she show you the video, she's not afraid of what you're capable of. And that to me is a disrespect that I can't take, bro. That means you're not afraid of my crash out.
Has already come to a decision.
You gonna show me you fucking that nigga? Alright, I'm gonna show you how fucking crazy I am. You must think I'm pussy.
About leaving the relationship. I think that our whole truth is not necessarily a obligation to give to everybody.
Did you let your husband know when you cheated, or your ex-husband know when you cheated on him?
Yeah, I told him.
How did that conversation?
It was awful. It was horrible.
You see how she making jokes about the shit? Oh my God, I told him everything. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It felt like I was giving him more information than he needed. So what had happened was, fell in love with a colleague overseas.
Chief, appreciate the fucking 6 months.
Chief 207 joined $. You what's good, TK?
What's up, Danny?
Like, there's no way this can be happening. I am married. I can't do this. And then I slept with him. And I went back home and I moved out. And I said, okay, I cannot be trusted with this person. And I disclosed everything.
Yo, you come home from your work, ask your wife, how was the trip? You know Kyle. What about him? I fucked him.
Deep down.
What do you even say, nigga? Nigga, I'm not gonna lie. I just leave, bruh. I ain't gonna lie. I have to leave, bruh. God damn, nigga. I would just have to leave the crib, bro. I couldn't, dog.
And dropped the hammer and then...
Mind you, she cheated on you with a nigga she introduced you to at work parties. You shook that nigga hand. He looked you dead in your eyes. Dog, I'm telling you, bro. Hell no, man.
And then just
I don't want to know, bro.
On my
just
way
leave me.
To
be like, I'm breaking up with you because I'm not a good woman, man.
If you have cheated on somebody, the psychological effects on that person need to be considered. Your perception of everything that had occurred is tainted because you're wondering, well, was she thinking about me in this picture that we took? Was she thinking about him? And I think that there is just a lot to consider when you are deliberating on...
Cheating for women so much worse, cause what the fuck you mean you let that nigga nut in you and you crying in my face?
I'm not gonna lie, a girl start crying. This sounds terrible, bro. Yo, don't listen. If you cheat on me, don't start crying to me, bro. Real shit, you gonna piss me off, bro. I need you stoic. I need you stoic. I need you stoic, bro. TK, didn't you cheat before? Emotionally. But that was, listen, that was me getting my lick back, okay? I didn't cheat first. I cheated emotionally, but that was after she cheated on me, bro. You know? And after she cheated on me, realistically, I should have just left. I should have left. But, you know, I got back together, and part of me wasn't okay with it, bro. So I was like, man, she was bullshitting anyways, man. Fuck that.
How much and what to share.
I love everything you just said. I agree, but with like a caveat of, I'm thinking of this from the cheater's perspective. I always told my partners when I cheated on them, but I told them for the wrong reasons. I told them to alleviate my own guilt. When the fact is, I should have just ended the relationship. And so my thing is, I wouldn't want my partner to tell me just so they could beg me for my forgiveness and let's move forward, I would only want them to tell me in the context of like, and I'm breaking up with you.
If someone starts
and no
crying
like
and
details
they
or anything.
cheated,
It would just be,
you have the right to give them the backhand. Cuz why you crying?
Dora, you gotta chill, bro. They already think I'm misogynistic.
like, I'm breaking up with you. Oh my God, why? I cheated. And I obviously can't.
Listen, now that's valid. If a girl breaking up with me, right? And she come to me, she's like, I want to break up, and we talking about it. She's like, I cheated. I'm unloyal, and I'm not gonna lie. I don't think you don't deserve that. All types of shit. I'm gonna be hurt, but I'm gonna respect you because you have respect for me, right? Now, if you break up, if you tell me you cheated and then want to fix it, nah, fuck out my face, bro.
Be with somebody that I would
at least
cheat
as
on. Like,
I
that
am
would
now.
be
Fuck
so.
out my
So
face,
yes, I would want them to tell me, but like
fuck out
only
my face. Because you gotta understand, chat. She's only telling you about the cheating that she wants to relay. She doesn't tell you how many times it happened. She doesn't tell you how it started. She's not telling you, oh, like, nah, bro.
in that context of like, I cheated. We have to break up.
I believe you owe it to that person no matter what. I believe that the person that you cheated on needs to know, and not only that, it's the secrecy, like that it hurts so much more when you're keeping it a secret from them. And
you see how she's talking about it hurts so much more when you're keeping it secret from them? What about the other person? You're only thinking about yourself.
And not telling them anything. I truly believe in confession. I believe that needs to be said. And they need to know that. They need to know that.
Yeah, I know you
been
mentioned
hiding
like
that.
psychological damage. How would you respond to that?
I would say it is not my place to dictate what somebody else needs. It's their place to tell me what they need.
Cooking that woman.
Initially telling them that, hey, I stepped out and I cheated on you is a necessity, just point blank, period. Now, how far you go into details is going to
X
then
told me
at that
she
point
cheated on
be,
a Wednesday.
okay, how
Come
much
to
does
find
that
out she
person
stayed over his
ask
crib through the
to
weekend.
where they may want to try and figure out, okay, why did this happen? What happened? Who did it happen with? When? If they ask those questions, then I think you definitely owe it to them to answer it, regardless of what you may feel like. For to your point where you brought up psychologically, I feel like at that point, once you've already cheated, like psychologically, they've already taken a lot of
you
damage.
only know years later? Wide TK?
What can I do? That's how listen, chat. My first relationship ended. I knew she cheated in the beginning, but I never knew the extent at which she was cheating on me in our whole relationship. I found out post-relationship, and it made me question things like, one, why were you so skeptical of me? Why did you trip off me so much if you didn't even like really love me? Like mind you, Chad, think about cheating. You were doing all this. How'd you find out, Jordan? Flacco Jordy? Yeah, shout out to him. He worked with some of her coworkers, and they used to they would talk, and her coworkers were dead out their mouth. I swear to God, cross my heart, hope to die. Remember when Jordan told me this? We was hooping at a park, and we sat down, and he was talking to me, and he said, them girls dead looked him in the eye and said, I feel so bad for TK. And if a girl feel bad for you, my nigga, that is everything you need to know. Them girls dead looked Jordan in the face and said, I feel so bad for TK. Dog, I'm telling you, my heart sank in that moment. What the fuck you mean you feel so bad for me? Women don't know empathy. They don't know how to empathize with a nigga.
So therefore, we still have to.
If you don't know about it, it doesn't do any damage.
Well, I will
But
say
that would
there's
be
one
the-
thing. You did say, I don't want to be with someone who cheated on me, right? So, but you agreed that you would never tell the person, right? If you cheated on them. So
So whatever happened to that girl that put a crystal under your bed, nigga, I threw the crystal away and I don't talk to her.
say you're in a
I didn't say
relationship.
that.
Well, but you came forward as an agreeer,
Yes.
right? And then just before we all came forward, you said, I would never want to be in a relationship with someone who cheated on me.
Yes.
And if they neglected to tell you that, then you would technically be in a relationship
Well, then I
someone who
wouldn't.
cheated on you.
Let me. Then I'll say I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with somebody I know cheat on me, and that's why I'm saying.
Got it.
So
Okay.
I guess I'm not agree or disagree. I'm more in the middle.
Don't put us all in the same boat. Women are capable of wickedness. Niggas would never understand, bruh. You know how I know? Listen, chat. You know how there's the gender wars on Twitter and all that good shit? Men are evil. Women are wicked. Okay? Men are evil. Women are wicked. All right? All right? You know, men are capable of great evils and atrocities. Absolutely. But women are capable of a wickedness you'd never know. For instance, you letting a nigga raise a kid thinking it's his whole time he's not the father of that child. That is a level of wickedness niggas could never know because that goes past being evil. That's wicked. That's wicked. Right? That's crazy.
Of like, I would want them to tell me I cheated on you and therefore like we should break
What's up,
up.
In my situation, I found out. But if I'm being...
This is so one-sided. All right, cool. Brianna, and I'm admitting men ain't shit. But women are a different level, bruh. Like, I'm talking about the depths of their evil. The depths they're willing to go to, bruh. Is an insane amount. Not all of us. I think all of y'all are capable of wicked things, man. You just have never been put in the opportunity to be wicked, man. It's human nature, bro.
Honest with you, I don't know if it would have been worse or better if they told me. I'm being honest with you, I don't even know how to comprehend that. Like me finding out, then you bold-faced coming to me and saying, I did this, this, and this.
It doesn't change the outcome.
Yeah, it's like, I don't think it makes any, me personally, I
that can
don't
be
know.
subject to any, like,
Yeah.
you know, everybody.
Cheaters score higher in Machiavellianism, a personality trait characterized by manipulation, self-interest, and coldness. They also score low in conscientiousness.
Like, but at the end of the day, I feel like when you're holding something back from it,
After what I went through, I'm never putting anything past a woman. Don't ever, bro. Don't ever, bro.
it's honestly you're not even taking accountability for what you did. So if you're gonna say like I'm not gonna tell them because of psychological damage,
Hold on.
you chose to cheat.
Hold on.
She's a cheater.
Disclosing that you cheated to the person that you cheated on is not accountability. That is just revealing
That is taking
information.
accountability.
Accountability.
You can I would consider that as a form of taking accountability. You're so open.
That's delivering
Be open
news.
about this. Listen,
That's delivering news.
that is
It's
a
the
form
first
of
step
taking
towards accountability.
Thank you.
Maybe it's
It
the
is.
first
It's the
step.
first step to
It's interesting
Not
because I
necessarily
Look at the people cheating, bro.
Accountability.
Be open about this one.
Let's let her
Sam.
respond. Let's let her respond.
Be open.
Okay.
Let her respond.
Girlfriend. Okay. Okay.
Good.
I'm just saying, you're very open
Accountability.
about it, but you're like, it's hypocritical. So when you're saying like, I have the right to
It's hypocritical. Shorty, you just said, yo, she irritates me.
withhold this information for the sake of psychological damage, but you chose to cheat.
You're talking about the benefits for you. You're alleviating your guilt by telling somebody what you did. You are achieving relief by doing a confession. And what I'm saying is, maybe it doesn't have to be that person.
All right.
As someone who's been cheated on,
I was about to ask the same question. Oh.
I guess who else would you tell?
I would tell a therapist. I would go and I would check myself into therapy and I would say, holy I derailed my life and I don't know what I'm doing. But I don't want to
even
cause
the-
any more damage, and therefore, please help me guide me in my next steps.
If I'm
A
How
good
much more selfish
therapist
is that though?
will
to be honest-
allow
selfish.
you.
It's still. It's
Oh,
still
I'm
a
very
form of
selfish.
selfishness.
actually, to be honest, I think
My
both- I think
number one
both ways are
priority
selfish.
is me. Me. And that was the biggest lesson I
And
learned.
is it still
about
like that in
cheating.
your relationship today?
Absolutely.
Well,
If I want to show up to a thriving relationship requires a fulfilled individual. And if I do not have me at the primary center of my decisions, I will start making decisions for other people. And what that means is they start to lead my life.
No.
I don't.
we don't believe.
I actually changed I think I've changed my opinion. It didn't occur to me the idea of like finding it. Like that just didn't
That's what I'm saying. Like,
if it's for me, if it's between walking in on my partner cheating, I mean, that would just traumatize me versus like my partner coming to me and saying, listen,
What's up, Trey?
I cheated. I would prefer the latter. I would want the choice. Do I want to move forward in this relationship or do I want to break up? And I would want to give my partner that same choice to put the ball in their court and say, this happened, this is how I feel about it, which might be like, and we need to break up, or I don't want to break up, or whatever it is. I did this is how I feel.
Yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie, bro. All relationships require trust. I don't believe that once the trust is broken, we can fix it. Because even, I don't give a fuck how mature people are, you will always view me as the person that cheated on you. That can never be repaired, right? Like, come on, man.
How do you feel? Do you want to stay with me? Do you want to work this out or not?
When you tell the other person, I'm always curious, like, what do you expect from the other person? And that's where I start to question: are you doing it for selfish reasons? Because I expect them to say, you know what, we'll work through it.
I don't think you can expect anything.
Which is,
you have to go on without
it. But I'm curious, like, at the time, can you recollect or remember what you were thinking?
Oh, at the time?
At the time, yeah. What you were thinking when you said, I'm going to tell?
There were times I cheated that I did not tell my partner. So I'm thinking about that too now. When I told my partners that I cheated, it was out of guilt, it was out of shame, and I wouldn't necessarily say expectation, but my hope was that they would forgive me. Okay. And I guess that maybe it was.
Wait, I have a question really quick. Did telling them eliminate your shame and guilt?
No, of course not.
I'm curious if you're open.
Wait, let's actually dig into, I guess, what was kind of like your point there?
If you are disclosing information to somebody else in effort of releasing something that you feel is holding you back, shame and guilt, that is actually not the effective solution. The effective solution is going into the shame and guilt, acknowledging it, and understanding why it's there. Shame tells me I am not aligned with my value system and the way that I operate in the world.
But you're missing the point of the other person's time. You've pretty much ruined their life. You've used up their time.
No. Hold on, wait a second.
So you don't think you...
Wait a second.
Go ahead.
I think that the only person who has the power to destroy my life is me.
I mean, you can say that now as a person who's grown and gone through something, but...
Nah, nigga, she's telling the truth. The only person who can destroy your life is yourself. And you know why I say that? Because how you take and deal with things is your own.
I'm sorry, but the blonde lady need a backhand to the face.
I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of agree with her. Because granted, if I get cheated on, fine. You took actions that harmed me, how I felt. But the time I spend, like, dealing with that is me. Like, what?
When you're in the situation, when you're in a relationship with somebody and they don't know that you're cheating on them, you think, like, you owe that to...
Why would I develop a dependency for my life's purpose?
But it sounds...
No one's saying it's a dependency.
No, it sounds like you're trying to say that I should just be able to do whatever I want. How you take it is all up to you, but I'm going to have the freedom to do whatever I want, even if it hurts you. That's what it sounds like.
Maybe you didn't hear my first statement. I agree that you don't always have to disclose a betrayal to the betrayed person.
I think that you always should give that to them. It's not in a sense to try and relieve any type of guilt or shame that you have. It's not to say that, oh, once I do this, I'm going to feel better. No, it's, as you said, to put the ball in their court and say, you know what, I got to be upfront with you, because just think about the emotional trauma of what they're going to feel when you say it to their face. But what about the trauma that they'll feel if they hear it from somebody behind their back?
And like, I have to just about putting the ball in your court. I wish that had happened to me. Like, as the person cheated on, both times I was not told. Both times I don't know, used magical intuition or something, and I knew exactly who it was, when it was, what time it happened, and
all the intuition in the world, but nothing told you that this person was a cheater.
And I broke up the relationship.
Deep down, we always know.
We always know. So, I mean, I think, putting the ball, I wish the ball had been put in my court. Both times I was not apologized to. They never admitted to doing it.
Oh,
and like,
I was, damn.
I've been cheated on too, and I've also been cheated on.
And I wish, I don't know
when
if
I
I've
was
been
cheated on
I was
as well. he came and told me and broke up with me and gave me no option.
Well, right. So that's
but I think that was very, very, very emotionally traumatizing for me, you know.
Because it felt like abandonment.
Yeah, it did. But I've never been abandoned before. Like I've never experienced
your
that.
first
So
experience with
right. And so it definitely like took time for me to get.
She brought up a very good point. What if someone is suicidal? What if
I did hear that.
Like that made me think, because I'm like, I think you should definitely disclose it at some point somehow. And yet, if I had a partner who was so fragile and I knew that
But how long have they been fragile? Were they fragile when you cheated or way before you cheated? That's kind of why.
I've been in that situation. There are safeguards you can put in place that you make sure that they're with safe people, that they have people who can support them through that time. Because I have been in that situation.
But what I'm saying is, I respect that, but the same token, when you met this person with a suicidal...
Oh, no, I'm saying I was the suicidal person who was cheated on.
But using that as like a deterrent for why you shouldn't tell someone it's not always...
I understand
it.
No, as somebody who is in that situation, I agree.
I'm just not fucking with a bitch who's suicidal. Yeah, bro, that's bad. That's bad business. That's you trying to be... That's you being Superman. And now, as far as I'm concerned, niggas don't got an S on their chest.
300 SPR joined $. NGL gang, after hearing this, just send me to Iran. At least I know who's trying to hurt me.
Facts. Send me to war.
That I was still glad I was told.
It's not always the cheater's fault when they cheat.
Nigga, hell no. What? Yeah, this white woman tripping, nigga. These two bitches tripping. What? Hell no.
I can think of one instance where I would say it's not the cheater's fault. If someone is in an abusive situation and maybe they don't feel safe to leave the relationship,
Nah, man, I'm not going for that, bro. If you getting beat on by your nigga, you going give him extra fuel? Your nigga liable to crash. You gonna do something that's make that nigga crash out even more?
Do not ever go in that bitch phone and search for anything. If you find out you deadass have a panic attack. That shit not fun.
could understand why, and maybe even like they've fallen for someone else, they use that as an excuse to get out of the relationship. I would still say it stems from within, for sure.
Jafeni, that's what I'm saying. You got a nigga that beat you. You giving a nigga rage bait?
But that would be the one instance in which I would say I could totally understand like where the cheating came from, that you're not safe.
I think that I have read too many accounts of women and men being taken advantage of and being put into a situation where there really is no choice.
Fuck you mean there is no choice, bro? There's always a choice, bro. Unless a gun was to your head, and that's not cheating, that's rape, okay? There's always a choice, bro. Motherfuckers just too afraid to make the difficult one. That's the problem, bro. Like, there's always a choice. And don't get me wrong, sometimes the choice is hard, but that's still a choice, nigga. Oh, my boss would have fired me and I'd have lost my job. Okay, cool. Lose your job, bro. What's more important, money or your morals? Oh, I really wanted to be able to do this, and I wouldn't have been able to do it if I didn't fuck him or if I didn't fuck her. So you made a choice.
So
like, what are we
a lot of the
talking
women
about?
that I counsel are in domestic violence households, and a lot of them have been threatened with murder if they chose to leave the relationship. And so what ends up happening is all of a sudden you're at work.
Threatened with murder if you leave the relationship. And you thought the nigga that would kill you for just leaving not gonna kill you for cheating?
I know what kind of man you are. I know what...
And you are having a conversation with
When
a
they
male
said
colleague
ignorance is bliss, they
who
was talking
exhibits
about cheating.
genuine care for you and your situation. It's almost impossible to stop the inertia of love from being able to take that person out of the situation.
If I had to play devil's advocate, do you think replacing something that can be considered negative with another negative makes it right?
It's difficult to compare like one sin to another, but I think that at the end of the day, if somebody is harming you, whether it's emotionally or physically, and they're making that choice, that's always going to be worse to me.
I also think that truth and reality really don't give a shit about right or wrong. So it's kind of like, why would I be so obsessed with labeling somebody else's decision that ultimately resulted in their safety?
Yeah, might make them safer.
Yo, did this bitch just say it might make them safer? Cheating gonna make you safer? I'm not, like, it don't make sense to me, chat. It don't make sense to me. Imagine a nigga beating his bitch and somebody saying, yo, cheating just gonna be the safer option. Don't leave the nigga. Cheat. Holy man. Mind you, niggas that beat they bitches probably be going through them phones.
Okay, I believe wrong is wrong. I do. I believe that two wrongs don't make a right. There's no way, like, that's just my personal belief. I don't think that,
But what if that person is not safe to leave?
then, okay, so, but they're okay to cheat.
Wait, it's not a question of okay.
I think that it's without partiality. Like, I can't sit here and say that somebody is right for cheating based off of
right. We just said
or they're okay to be able to cheat based off of the fact that they're in an abusive relationship. If you are in an abusive relationship, get the heck out.
But what if you can't? It's not always that simple.
What if you can't? You not trying hard enough. You not trying hard enough, bro. Yo, yeah, nigga, yeah. I hear all that good shit. Dog. Niggas who, like, yo, my thing is, right, I will always advocate for people getting out because staying is just impending doom. What are you, like, think about it, bro. What if you can't? So what is staying gonna do for you? You wanna get beat till the nigga kill you? Think about it, chat. Okay, oh, you've been threatened with murder if you leave. You think the nigga that's gonna kill you for leaving not gonna kill you if you just stay eventually? Like, what?
How is it that no one is able to tell me?
You gotta talk to some girls.
Yeah, okay,
My question would be,
calm down.
so
I just
if
want to
we're-
know. I'm asking the question because you're saying that someone can sit there and cheat on someone based off of the fact that they're in an abusive relationship. Where does that come? Like, how does that make that okay or make it right? Where does that come?
It's not a black and white thing, and I think we keep coming to that. I don't think anybody is saying like it's okay. I think we're just saying it's not okay, and it's in the middle.
But I believe in yes or no.
I saw a video where a girl left the nigga and he killed her family, so I do understand her point. But staying doesn't guarantee that he wasn't going to do that. That's what I'm saying, bro. Yeah, bro. Like, of course, we've seen instances where niggas crash out after. But what's to say that you staying with this nigga wouldn't have led to that crash out anyways?
Oh, and okay or not
Right,
okay,
and
right or wrong.
I think some of us are thinking black and white, and some of us just aren't those kinds of people, and I think that's okay.
Yeah, I'm not open about that.
But I'm not saying that being unsafe in an abusive relationship makes it okay to cheat. What I'm saying is that someone might use forming a relationship with another person as a safety net, because now you have somebody else to go to. Because I think a lot of people don't realize, but the abuse actually kicks up after you leave the relationship. It gets worse because the person who is abusing you will stalk you, will chase you, will blow up your phone, will show up at your house. It is very dangerous for people, I'm not gonna gender it, for people who are leaving abusive situations, it gets more dangerous.
So, essentially what you're saying to me, you staying and catching a right hook is more dangerous than you leaving and there being a chance that you catch a right hook.
And so cheating, forming another relationship with somebody, may actually help that person find safety.
My question would be like, how would it help them find safety? If the relationship is already abusive, I would think that would anger the person more.
Thank you, bruh. Oh my God, Keith, you let your bitch fuck other niggas, but at least you got some sense, nigga. Yo, yeah, nigga. What? Would that nigga not be turned up?
To help them find safety. If the relationship is already abusive, I would think that would anger the person more.
Yeah. Hey, man, you got a nigga that beats his bitch and you gonna tell her to go fuck another nigga? Now you first off, not only are you threatening your own life, you know that nigga liable to crash. He gonna go kill the nigga you was fucking.
Doesn't matter though. That's what I'm saying.
It's the disclosing of the.
Yeah, bro, I gotta know, man. Before I start fucking with you, your nigga beat you?
Internal reality.
We are all humans in our bodies, and you have a right to feel comfortable in your body and to feel safe. And whether or not you have to make a decision that makes you immoral or whatever in order to protect your safety, that is okay in my eyes. I don't think about right and wrong. I was raised in the church, so I was drilled a lot about black and white and right and wrong. I just can't. Yeah. My dad was a pastor. Crazy.
I know we brought up specifics and everything, but I think if we're just looking at the specific prompt in itself, I think that there's always a choice. There's always a choice. I understand, maybe if someone's under the influence and, I can see how that could be literally blurred. But I think in general, if someone's sober,
cheating is a choice.
No, I agree.
And I think that's where we can put the fault on that person because they made that conscious decision.
But what is the purpose of assigning fault?
Well, I mean, I'm not saying there's any purpose. That wasn't the prompt. Yeah. Like the prompt was like that the person is at fault.
I'm trying to get
my point.
No, I understand. I love that.
Yeah, it's still that choice to where you have to have the accountability held for you. I think that's where it's important.
Yeah, bro, love South. Ain't no through sickness and health if that nigga hitting you. That's not sickness and health.
To have the right or wrong, regardless of whether we
now this nigga camping outside my crib about to get shot at.
Think it's black or white. Yes, I feel like if we do not have an objective choice of what is right, what is wrong, then we should just be in a world that's a free-for-all and jails emptied out. No judicial system. The thought process in my mind, I know it was brought up that, okay, that may be their only way out of the relationship. But then it was later brought up that sometimes getting out of the relationship is the worsening part. So if you're leaning towards getting out the relationship anyway, are you going to create
what I meant is that you have a safe haven now that somebody, which is also might lead to
a safe haven. You getting a nigga, yo. Women are hilarious. You have a safe haven now. You think the nigga that you was cheating on your nigga with gonna die for you? Yo, man.
More toxic situations, but I just mean if you were so desperate to get out of a relationship and you know that abuse is gonna crank up as soon as you leave, now I have somebody else to protect me. That's what I was thinking. And I do think that, again, like blame, fault, I
Cheating
prefer
on an
accountability.
Person is like
I
going
think
into
that's
a boss
the thing.
fight with low
Something can
stats.
be right, something
You
can be
wanna
wrong,
die.
something can be in the middle.
And right and wrong is very subjective.
Exactly.
Like it's very different for everyone. And
Last thoughts.
Right. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, whatever my reason or excuse.
For all my niggas saying that a girl should cheat on her abusive boyfriend. Y'all remember this nigga? Oh, whoa. These are crazy statements. Let me see if I can find that nigga. Y'all remember that video of the nigga talking about some, I'll die behind this pussy. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Yeah, bro. You want to cheat on a nigga like that? Nigga said, fuck you and your son. Nigga, what? You want to cheat on a nigga like that? Me and my woman going through something right now. Yeah, hell no.
Or whatever you want to call it, it was a choice that I made.
Nigga said, fuck your son, I'll bury you in that little motherfucker.
And I cannot put that on the other person.
Okay, we have to move on.
That's Astro Dior uncle? No, it's not. You're lying.
Last concluding words.
I want to say one thing.
No, we got to move on to the last concluding words.
Once a cheater, always a cheater isn't a thing. I believe that there is forgiveness.
A cheater is telling you that, by the way.
I believe that you should forgive yourself. I believe in confessing to your partner. I believe that you owe that to that person. If you are cheating, you need to tell them, and you can change. There is a new life for you. But that's what I'll say. I'll leave it at that.
It's great to like be able to have a conversation and see the other side and the other perspective in a safe space, So I don't really have any concluding thoughts about the conversation other than thank you for the conversation. Yeah.
To hear your perspective, it all made me think. And the interesting thing for me is knowing why I cheated and where I am now just as a human being with my maturity understanding of the world, and my own history of abuse and trauma and how it's like I've forgiven myself a long time ago. It's not about that, but kudos to everyone for just being respectful and really being vulnerable. So
obviously going through being cheated on, it wasn't a great experience, but I
want to hear from this nigga.
I have a different perspective than
Tell me how you took your bitch back after she fucked another nigga.
I've ever had, that I ever would have had if I didn't get cheated on. Because now I know how to communicate, and I think that that's like the biggest thing and the biggest gift that we all have, is we're able to speak and we're able to communicate.
Yeah, I think throughout this whole conversation, I think I learned that communication is preventative on all different measures, and if we can learn how to have that communication prior to, it can help us stay away from the hard conversations.
Right,
after
100% agree.
Yeah.
Nah, man, that's not what I'm trying to hear, nigga. Tell me what you went through to take your bitch back after she fucked that nigga.
Tell it to all of America and all the nuance of talking.
Ask for permission.
Yeah. Wait, he let a nigga fuck his bitch brother. This nigga is the cheated on. This is the cheater. That's his wife. She cheated on this nigga.
Yeah.
Tell it to all of America and all the nuance of talking.
Ask for permission, not beg for forgiveness.
Thanks for joining this episode of Middle Ground of Cheaters versus Cheated On. If you guys want to shake hands and embrace, please do so now.
All this shit taught me was motherfuckers delusional, nigga.
Let's go. Guys, you too. Nice meeting you.
They Christian growth, that's how.
Yes. Yes.
Thanks for the hug. Oh, thank you.
You see how she not hugging nobody, but he hugging people?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm knowing. That was an argument in the car too.
Oh, thank you.
Check your DM STK.